Good evening.
I'm very pleased to have you.
You're welcome.
Can you state your name, please?
My name is Marsha Daley.
Any alias?
No, I don't have an alias.
Place of birth?
I was born in Jamaica, St. Elizabeth to be exact. My area that I grew up is Brentavana district.
What's that community like?
It's a farming community.
What's the main attraction in that community?
The main attraction, I don't know if you ever heard of Jamaica Zoo, but it's not exactly in Brentavana, it's on your way to Brentavana. So it's like one road straight from Lacovia. So it's on that road coming into Brentavana. That's the main attraction.
Okay. Mother and father still alive?
My mom is alive, my father is deceased.
My condolences.
He died in 2004, like 2 years after I came here.
Okay. How many siblings?
It's 5 of us. It's 4 of us alive. My brother is deceased.
My condolences. What was it like growing up in that community from a financial perspective?
I have a very humble beginning. My parents weren't rich. But they do the best to, provide for us. My father was a farmer, and my mom, she sells. So she'll sell, she'll bake and sell food at the school that was right in front of our home, or she'll sell clothes. At times she'll travel to Panama, buy clothes, come back sell in the community, and at times she'll go to the market and sell food products.
Okay. Schools that you attended?
I attended the Brentavana Basic School. That's my first school as a kindergarten, and then I went to Brentavana Primary School, and then in grade 6 I took the common entrance exam and I passed for Black River High School. But I actually didn't go to Black River High School. I went to a school in Portland, Happy Grove High School, because I left my parents then to go and live with my aunts, who sent me to school. So they are the one who schooled me throughout my high school years.
What did you do after school?
After high school I left and went to St. Mary, back to my mom, because by then my mom relocated to St. Mary, and so I went to live with her. And I wanted to do my nursing, but because I didn't have all the subjects that I needed for nursing school, I went on to do instead of just staying at home, I went on to Heart Academy to do garment construction. So I did that for a year, and I tried to get a job in that area, but I didn't. So I went back to evening classes to get my subjects, and after doing that I went into teaching. So I teach at a kindergarten school for a few years, and then after that I left St. Mary and I went back to St. Elizabeth, and there I continued studying. So I went and did a course in computer studies, and also I did evening classes. And while I was doing that my sister had a shop, so I used to help her work in the shop, help her to sell stuff, or she does cooking, and so I used to help her in the kitchen also.
Okay. What age did you came to the UK?
I came here age 23, just after my 23rd birthday.
Okay. And did you join or enlist to join the army right off the back of that?
No, actually, as I said, I wanted to be a nurse, so I came with the hope that I could get into nursing school here. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible, because at the time when I came there, I think they had stopped overseas students maybe a year or a few months after I get here. So I started studying. So I did a course in medical secretary. I did some computing course also, with the hope that I could still have this hope that I could go into nursing. I went to open days at Wolverhampton University a few times, trying to see how I could get into nursing, but that wasn't forthcoming. So I considered joining the army.
Okay.
But I didn't get into the army until a few years after 2009 to be exact.
But how did you know about the army?
I knew about the army. Actually, I knew about the army before I come to this country. When I was in Jamaica, I wanted to join not the army but the fire service.
Okay.
So these things are like, it's not like if I don't get in one, I would try something else.
Okay.
So when I come here, I realized that nursing wasn't going to be possible unless I become a citizen of this country. So I was considering what else to do. So I thought, why not join the army? So I tried to join the army with the hope that I could be a nurse in the army. That didn't work out because when I went, I have the qualification to do, but when I went and tried to get in, they said that they have enough Commonwealth personnel at the time to do in nursing, so I had to wait. And I tried again while I was in my second phase training, and it was similar result answer. So yeah, so
Okay.
I become a combat medical technician.
Wait, before we go there, where did you enlist to join the army?
I went to Litchfield to do my my initial
3 days.
yes,
Yeah.
what you call that, the qualification to see if I
physical
yeah.
side of
I went to Litchfield to
physical
do that.
assessment.
Physical assessment, that's right. Physical assessment. I went to Litchfield to do that, and then after that, I started my training, my basic phase training at Purbright. That was an eye opener, but it was good for me because it teach me discipline. You know, it teach me discipline. It wasn't easy, but you have days when you enjoy it, and there are days when you really hate it because it's just not what you used to. I made friends there. Actually, I made a friend that even today I went to her baby's christening. So,
Okay, that's good.
So yeah, I made friends, and then after Purbright, I went to Kio to do my training as a combat medical technician.
Wait, before we get to your unit,
Okay.
What was basic training, the entire training like? When you were in phase basic training, did you visit Outbreak Hill in Purbright? That steep hill?
Yes, we run up the hill and down the hill and around the hill, and that did break me because I was so dizzy at one point. I feel like I was going to faint.
That's good because that's the name of it, Outbreak Hill.
It did.
Okay.
It did.
So what in terms of exercises in basic training? You'd have gone on like 3 of them in basic training.
Right. Okay.
Which is the most memorable one for you?
Well, the most memorable one is the first one, which is the most challenging because that was a long one. I don't remember if it was 1 week or just over 1 week, but it was one that
I think exercise 1 was for 3 or 4 days. I think exercise 2 and exercise 3 is a bit longer.
The longer ones, because I remember it was cold at one of those exercises, very cold. So yeah.
So what was it like after leaving basic training, going into your phase 2?
Phase 2 wasn't, I think it was, I wouldn't say relaxing, but it was less physical. So you still have to do your exercises, you still have to do your fitness and all that. But I think because you have that theory side of things, so some days it's not as taxing on the physically. So I like phase 2 training because I was learning something on the medical side of things, because that's my ambition. So I was excited to learn things medically. Yeah.
So your unit, what was it like turning up at a unit?
Living in a block,
Mm.
never lived in a block before with other people, you know, people with different personalities and stuff like that. But me being, I try not to get into trouble with anybody, so I try to live as peacefully as I can with people, and I just hold my head down and get on with what I need to get on with. So.
Have you gone to any other unit, for example, as a attached armed or anything like that?
No, if I had stayed in the army long enough, then I probably would.
So you haven't never deployed?
No, at the time when they were deploying, I was supposed to be deployed with my batch, my group, but then I fractured my ankle, and it took a while to heal, so I didn't end up going to Afghan with them. And in that time, I was like, I wanted to do my nursing so badly, so I in that time I tried to do my, because then nurses needed to have A levels, and I didn't have any A levels. I have O levels but not A levels, so I went off to do my access to nursing. So while my ankle was fractured and I couldn't do much physical, I decided to use that time to study something, and I did that. And once I had that, that was I passed through that, got my certificate. I thought I just need to get on with my nursing. And I thought maybe if I try the army again, it might not work. So I thought I might as well leave the army to get that done. And that's what I decided to do.
Okay, how many years did you do in the army? How long was the service?
Just nearly 4 years.
Okay, so that's the bare minimum.
That's the minimum, yeah.
Okay.
I would have liked to stay longer, but I wanted to do my nursing so badly, and I thought I didn't want to waste any more time and too long going for interviews or trying to get into nursing in the army, and maybe it took a long time. So I thought, I'll leave the army and get that done.
Okay. Yeah. So was it challenging for you transitioning to civil life after leaving the army?
Actually, I don't think so. No. Because I have a plan.
Okay.
So it wasn't.
Okay. So what have you done or have accomplished since you leave the army? How many years now since you left the army?
I left the army in 2012. So that's 10 years.
Okay, 10 years. So what have you done, or what you doing since you left?
When I left the army, I started working as a healthcare assistant while waiting to start my university training, because I was accepted to two universities, Birmingham University and Wolverhampton, but actually I lived in Wolverhampton, so I went to the closer one, which was Wolverhampton. But I was waiting for the start date. I thought I would have started in 2012 because I got my placement then, but I wasn't in the September group, I was in the January group. So I started my nurse training in January 2013. So while waiting, I did healthcare job.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did my training. I finished my training.
Yeah.
And I started working as a nurse. I did courses in between, and I did my masters, and I finished it last year.
Well done. So what are you doing presently?
I'm still working as a nurse.
Okay.
Still working as a nurse. Still trying to figure out where I want to go with my career. So I might travel abroad, and it's just an option, and see if we can gain other experiences outside of this country. But yeah, for now I'm here. I'm working as a ward nurse.
Okay. So do you regret leaving the army, or?
I wouldn't say regret, but sometimes I wish if I had the opportunity to stay and do my nursing in the army, because that was a goal that I wanted to achieve. But I still achieve being a nurse. It's just not in the army.
Okay. So is there anything that you miss being in the army, left the army?
I actually miss the opportunity of being deployed, the opportunity of helping people outside of this country. I had the opportunity to go to Kenya, and I really really love it. On exercise, I really enjoy that, and I wanted to see to do more of that.
Okay.
You know, but and just it's nice to be a part of a group who is, you know, like-minded people. So yeah.
So what would you say or encouragement you'd give to anybody who wants to join the army?
I would say it's a good thing to do. You have to be disciplined though, you know. There's opportunities in the army, but you have to be willing to take these things when it's offered to you, you know, because you can study while you're in the army. There's nothing said you can't study while you're in the army. You can achieve anything while you're in the army. Being a soldier doesn't mean it's just not excelling academically, because there is things in the army you can do to excel academically if you're that type of person anyway.
So we have come to the end of our interview.
Okay.
This is a part one. We have to do maybe a part two and a part
Part
three.
two. Part
So
three.
thank you so much, Ms Daley, for your time.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Thanks.